then they are, or one of them like trips on one of the like creatures in the forest that like eats people or whatever. It's got like these tentacles that grab you and eat you. And he was
Mhm.
like, "Bring him over here, boys." And then it like picked him up, and all of the clone troopers like shot at him, and then they hit him with the stun gun. Like he was going to kill all of them,
Yes, he was.
and I thought that was so cool. So that's it. Well done.
And in the end, he was right.
I thought that was fun. I thought you'd appreciate that we were watching.
Yeah, I do appreciate that.
It was
Thank you. I didn't realize that my Star Wars stuff stuck out so much. How do you know that I like love Star Wars that much? I don't remember telling you that.
it was mostly the one day when I was looking through your Instagram, and you have like a lot of
Oh,
Star Wars clothes, like hoodies and hats and stuff.
yeah, it's not the same anymore. I don't have most of that.
I think it stuck out to me because I too love Star Wars for like a really long time, especially like the Clone Wars era. And like that was kind of the Star Wars that I grew up with as a kid.
Hmm.
And I thought it was like awesome. And like I was the same way. Like I wore Star Wars stuff and I thought Star Wars was super cool, and then Disney ruined it. And then I like stopped, and I don't want people to know that I know anything about Star Wars. It's like the same with superheroes. Like I like really loved the superhero universe. I would read like the New 52 comics that would come out every week, and then Marvel and DC, I guess Disney specifically, they just like ruined it. They made it so awful. And now I'm like, yeah, I don't. Superheroes are weird. Anyway, that's why the Star Wars sticks out to me though, is because like I'm the same way. Was is
I mean, did you see that Kennedy is gone and Filoni and some other guy are splitting the same role?
I didn't. I haven't paid attention to Star Wars for
Yeah, the guy who made Clone Wars is in charge of Disney Star Wars now.
Oh, really? It's not the lady who made all the
Torched it?
Palpatine
No.
get revived.
Yeah, and the first thing David did was kill that. So everything past Rise of Skywalker, which is the second one of the newest trilogy, is all retconned and out of the actual lore.
But they kept the first two movies?
They kept the first movie.
Oh,
So is
okay,
that
just the first.
7? Yeah, the first J.J. Abrams one, but 2 and 3 are not a part of that anymore. They took it out.
Good. That's a good thing because they were terrible.
Yeah, they were bad.
I did not hear about that, but
They
that's
said it was. They said it stuck for 9 years before he removed it, which I think is just a crazy choice. I
yeah.
think it's crazy both sides. Like you double down on it and leave it, and then after almost a decade, you say, "Nah, just kidding."
Yeah, that's wild. But I guess we're watching everybody kind of do that, and it's just something that they can get away with, so whatever, I guess.
Yeah,
It's funny that we're talking about massive studio retconning the ending of a game, and then like here we are in Marathon where they literally retcon the ending of every
yeah,
single game.
yeah.
But
Or even the topic on Overwatch, like, just kidding.
just kidding. You thought, yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Well, we can for real start now. I had things to say about Star Wars, but anyway, okay, so we'll just jump right in. Did you watch? I'm assuming you've seen the Assassin cinematic that came out, and then did you watch like the Arachne short? There were two other big ones, not big ones, but just in the last 2 days that were like gameplay shorts that we got. Did you see both those as well by any
I
chance?
didn't see the gameplay shorts.
Okay. There are two things on there that we'll talk about, but we'll jump into the Assassin cinematic. You're a huge Void fan. You're a Void one trick. That's your favorite character. So
Oh,
tell us
God.
tell us about this awesome cinematic. What do they call aura farming? He was aura farming at the beginning.
I mean, that's all that the shots were, and it wasn't like as good of a aura farm as they wanted it to be, in my opinion. That's my take on it.
Yeah. Yeah,
Uh,
I see a lot of people cutting up specifically the beginning where he's standing on top of the building with like the hood on. Like I see
yeah,
a lot of memes of that, but like that's pretty much it, and the rest of it I thought it was a pretty mid cinema.
yeah. Like coming off the first one, I was like, this ain't nothing. I yeah, I mean, what did I write down? I like went through and like tried to actually like think about it. I thought the whole so first off, your sarcasm's appreciated. I think that it's the most overrated character on the planet, and I think that everyone crying about it, invisibility being too strong, is I'm in the same boat as you, where it's like it's not too strong, it's fine.
Yeah,
Um,
I wonder if we're a bit biased to that because we're Halo players. You know what I mean? Because like if you're a COD player, like invisibility might be pretty broken 10 years later into your gaming career because you've never seen it before. But like,
I mean,
we've
but
been dealing with active
invisibility,
camo our whole lives.
yeah, I don't know. It's just like, what are we complaining about here? Like, have we missed the plot? I guess like in modern games like Fortnite and like just I guess invisibility just like isn't a thing. It's kind of the same thing as like flying. Like you can't have flying in video games even though you really want it to because like there's too much space and you can skip over all the content. So then you have to like have the three-dimensional. It like poses problems with game development. Anthem ran into that issue. So I just feel like invisibility is kind of like some people think it's a cheap way out and so they stop doing it. I can appreciate them doing it, like trying it,
Yeah,
but I don't think it's nearly as good as everyone thinks it is. I think there's so many different ways to counterplay it, and also my favorite character counterplays the shit out of it. So,
yeah, yeah. I think
um,
especially because I hadn't like touched Halo Infinite for like the first 2 years it came out, and then we like went and we played a little bit, and I was like amazed at how good it was. But the big thing that stood out to me was like they really made active camo like a lot better. So like in Halo Reach, because that's the only one that I remember. You'll have to speak for Halo 3. But like you'd get the active camo and it would like spam the red dots on your radar and then you had to be like holding completely still to be invisible. And even then, if you were like right next to him or if you were like really looking, like you could see that it was invisible. You know what I mean? Like you could see like the silhouette of it. And like is that how it was in Halo 3 as well or
yeah,
no?
it has the same premise. It just like wasn't an ability. It was just like a pickup
Right.
only. So like it was on the map, designated in campaign for certain spots on the thing.
I keep forgetting that Halo Reach
Um,
is where we first saw Sprint in Halo and stuff. The abilities, holy Halo
yeah,
Reach hero shooter. But
yeah, yeah,
so Halo Infinite did a way better job. We didn't have the minimap giveaway blips because like that made it completely useless. And then it was way better. Like it was quite a bit harder to see. But I'm not 12 anymore, and I'm not playing in 1080p, right? So with my
yeah,
1440p monitor, and I'm an adult, like I can just pick out invisibility everywhere always. I have to be looking for it. If I don't know that you're invisible and you're sitting on a cliffside 200 meters away, it's like I probably won't see you. But like if I'm expecting you to be invisible and I'm looking for it, it is not hard to see.
yeah. Well, and the only way to proc it, and you can see it in the gameplay, is that the only way to proc the invisibility is
Throw a
by
massive
throwing a
smoke
smoke.
bomb.
Yeah, so like everyone's advertised on, oh, there's an invisible person on the battlefield.
Right.
Let me slow down and look for it.
Yeah.
Okay, I flushed him out.
At the
I
very
don't
least,
know.
it's
It's
like,
just
oh,
like
a void's here.
like, oh, I wonder what I'm fighting against, and then you go again. It's like I don't know. I think that what I do appreciate about the video is that it like kind of showed the entire kit um for Assassin without mansplaining it.
That's true.
I don't think it even showed really the smokes.
He
It was
he
just
just
kind of
threw the
like,
one at the beginning to
yeah,
activate them, pretty much. But
yeah. So I like that they're like showcasing like what everyone does, like from a basic standpoint, and then they're just kind of trying to get you hyped up about it. But I thought the video itself was a little short compared to the last one.
yeah, definitely. We were pretty disappointed lore-wise as well because the Destroyer cinematic, we got like an infinite amount of information and lore-wise, like stuff, and then especially the artifacts being confirmed. And then the Void one, we literally got nothing. Like it was just a 3-second outpost 1v3 where he one-shot knifed a Blackbird, which is not possible. But he also one-shot the Locust with the knife. But
I'm curious if the Blackbird drone will chase. Does it chase after Void? I can't
yeah,
remember if it
yeah,
does.
the
If they're
spider
invisible, it still
absolutely.
chases after him.
I've got a clip.
It's so broken.
Or wait, I may or may not have a clip from the NDA test, which is the same as April for the record, because I remember doing a Blackbird there too, where like I throw the spider down and I'm like watching it. I'm like, where's he going? And it blows up. I'm like, oh, that's a Void. There he is. But
Oh, that was hard.
Yeah.
Like see the smoke and just toss it out. Like, okay, go find him.
I was gonna say the other thing that I remember, we specifically had one raid where we got to like one of the buildings and we watched the void smoke go, and then Dubstasher's like, "Well, I guess it's time to push my ultimate as Blackbird, and now we know where he is. So good job for being invisible." And I remember doing that in the April playtest. I think that's
You
one of the
can't
big
talk about
reasons.
that.
April is not ND8, so that's what we're talking about. The not ND8 one.
Oh, we talked about April. Okay, all right.
Anyway, yeah, I think invisibility is like crazy overhyped in games, and it's mostly because we have this mass wave of casual gamers from stuff like Fortnite and Warzone, where like we've never seen invisibility before, and then they think it's cheap. Probably a big reason for that is consoles, because I think a lot of people are still playing in 1080p, so maybe it's a
Yeah,
little bit harder to see the invisibility. But there's a character in
maybe.
Highguard who has the invisibility, and like I just have clip after clip of running them down while they're invisible. And it's just going to be a montage of me killing the invisible people because it's just not hard to see them, in my
I
opinion.
feel like you're gonna be on this hill of invisibility's corny, and you can always outplay it, and you're gonna advertise any chance you can to of like any montage you can forever that
Definitely.
you will get it done.
Definitely. Yeah. Well, and I was the same way in Tarkov with rats, right? Because that was kind of like the cheap way to play that game. So, like, I have
Mhm.
just so much footage. Anytime we found, like, campers in D2 or anything, I would just, like, I would back up and press the record button because, like, it's time. You know what I mean? But anyway, so yeah, Assassin Cinematic, pretty lackluster in my opinion. I thought it was okay. Um there was
Are we the
one
same
thing
person?
there was one thing that I noticed that I wanted to see to get your opinion on again as well. So we've seen Destroyer 4 times
Mhm.
since the original video that they gave us, like the real looking one. And Destroyer has had the scar in his hands every single time. So the spinny barrel one. But I guess more specifically is Destroyer cinematic to this new Assassin cinematic. The Destroyer has the same gun each time. And I was curious if you thought that meant anything. Do you think they're trying to say it's the same runner, or do you think it's more like, here's the gun we think is best for Destroyer to use?
Uh, I think they're. I don't know. I'm not too focused on the guns. I think it's more about the character. The gun is just a placeholder, so like what looks cool.
I've seen a lot of people in these crazy rabbit holes saying that they're like all the same runner and all sorts of crazy things. But
I mean, it could be the same runner,
I know.
but
I think I'm on your team. I think it doesn't matter at all. I just thought it was
I
interesting.
guess we'll see if it's in the if he's in the next video, the same look, the same
And
gun.
he
You
has it
could make an
again.
argument. Yeah, you can make an argument that like he's the anchor showing us through everything.
Oh, interesting. Yeah, I guess we could be the runner. They're trying to. Yeah, I don't know. It's interesting that they chose that gun because there are so many guns, and then there are better guns that fit his kit. So I thought it was interesting that they
Oh yeah,
purposely chose to show the scar so many
I
times.
think that that's more just like a visual continuity, like oh, easy to identify. Like oh yeah, I already saw that. I don't think it's anything to do with like gameplay or anything.
Yeah, I guess if you don't know anything about Marathon and you watch the Assassin cinematic, but you watch the Destroyer one, you're like, oh, I've seen that guy. uh,
I know him.
okay. Yeah, poor Assassin cinematic. The last thing I'll say on that is, the math here is they're dropping them on Mondays at like 8 a.m. and supposedly there's like the right amount of weeks for every runner to get one before launch, except Rook, R.I.P. So, what is that? Like in 3 days should be another one. So hopefully there's just one every week. And Blackbird's gonna get one at some point, right, guys?
Please.
Hers is the one I'm most
Sorry.
excited for because based on the lore that they've given us, like she's the one that we don't know anything about. Right? Like we know the names of all the other runner shells. We know that like Glitch is mostly used by like the Mars people. We know that Destroyer's like an old combat shell. We know that Void's like a prototype shell that was on the Marathon. And then Blackbird, the lore that they gave us, was like unidentified. We don't know where it came from. It's classified. So I'm excited to see what they do for hers and like what they're gonna show. And I hope I hope so badly that it's not, I jumped off a building and I stabbed 2 guys. Woohoo! You know? Please give us more than that.
We'll see. We'll see. Hopefully.
Yeah. Okay, so the other 2 shorts here. Well, I guess we talked about the Arachne one a little bit, but you hadn't seen it. What did you think about the Arachne short last week?
I just think that if they're gonna commit to all the vendors, I'm excited. I'm excited.
So excited. I love that we have gone in the fun direction with Arachne. It's so much better than what I thought. Because, like, most of the game is, like, super serious, right?
Yeah.
And then Arachne is like, bring me their skin. And I think that's so fun. Like, it's just so.
Fetch me their souls.
Yeah, it's so fun. I love that it's like a little bit of goofiness in there. But,
I think it ties in well with Discord too. So if you're like pretty involved in like enjoying that stuff, like there's multiple avenues and they're like leaning in on that.
yeah, definitely. Okay, so the other 2 YouTube shorts, they're just like combat shorts from the January playtest of people
Yeah.
fighting or whatever.
I always think those are corny. I kind of skimmed through those. And I was like,
I
I
watch
saw
them.
those in.
I watched them like once really good all the way through to make sure that like I didn't miss anything. I knew that was there. I knew that was there. And then there were 2 things that stuck out from each of them. So the first one is so we've seen 11 skins for each runner in the game except Rook IP. And we saw a new skin on the Destroyer because it's from his perspective, and he has teal thumbs and then he has blue fingers. And then when he uses his barricade, he's like all teal but with like a blue undertone on his armor. And that's a skin that we have not seen before. So that's another skin for Destroyer, which I thought was. And then this skin is like not like the other ones we saw. That leak that we got were like crazy skins. They were like camouflage. Some of them changed the silhouettes a little bit. And this one was like a literal just retoning of the colors. And that got me excited because like if they have that for all the characters where they have like 11 kind of unique crazy skins, but then like there's a billion if you want to be the orange Blackbird, you know? And I thought that was cool. So that was just like a small thing that I was excited about.
Do you think they're gonna lean in on dynamic skins? So like you pop a major ability. So like for Blackbird, you'd pop like her ult, right? You could see everything on the map. When you pop it, the skin changes completely. Because like what you said with like the green thumb and then the teal, and then it was like all blue. What if the shield is green, right?
Yeah, or
So
maybe
it's like
like
offloading. It's like offloading all that color onto, like it's just moving the color around based on like what you're up to. So like with Blackbird, she opens up her head and like she has like a bunch of different eyeballs. What if like some random accent color just like goes and shifts into those eyeballs, and then you can like look around and people are like, whoa.
that would be cool. Yeah. I don't know. I'm not sure because I know that they've said that they want to be super careful with the skins and they don't want to like change anything too much, and they want like the base silhouettes to be the same. But then, as they said that, and then we got the skin leaks, like a lot of them aren't. There are 2 for each character that are like way different. Like Blackbird, the back of her head is like square, right? And one of hers it turns into a point, like Tron helmets. Dude, it's sweet.
Dang, man. Ugh. I got sick. We probably got leaked stuff that like is gonna be way more interesting than we probably should have seen. In
Yeah.
my opinion. Like this was stuff that like should have been waited on.
Well,
Sure.
I think everything that got leaked was like battle pass stuff, and I bet you some of them are like way down the road, or they're like multiple prestiges. Like that skin for Blackbird that I was talking about. Like, I bet you're 200 hours deep before you can even have a chance at getting.
Yeah. Yeah.
But anyway, that was just like something that like anytime I see more content in a game, I'm like, good, thumbs up, you know? And like that,
Yeah.
that's just like a very small thing they can do of like reshading it that like makes a huge deal. So like I played a lot of League of Legends. This is something you probably don't know about me that I'm slightly embarrassed about. thousands of hours in League of Legends. Played it pretty competitively.
Thousands? No.
Worked with one of the esports teams here where we live for a little bit. I was pretty all in. And then when they forced their kernel level anti cheat onto League of Legends, I was like, I'm out. So I haven't touched it in like 2 years, and it like makes me kind of sad because I think it's a great game, but it's not worth
Yeah.
the kernel level anti cheat. But anyway, one of the things that I hated about League of Legends so much was that like I would like a skin, but then it was like purple, and I was like, I don't want to be purple. And so later when they added like the toning that you could change them to be whatever color you wanted, that was like one of the biggest quality of life things that I appreciated. And it looks like we kind of already have that in Marathon, where I can just be whatever color of the destroyer I want to be. And that like means a lot to me for whatever reason. So
That's cute.
So the other thing from the shorts that I wanted to discuss was we see the destroyer's teammate die on top of one of the buildings, and then he goes to the bag to revive him, and the bag is locked. It has a bunch of tiny little locked red symbols all over the bag, and he can't revive him. And I was curious what your take on that was. That's the context. Friend just died like seconds ago. He killed the thief that was on top of it, and then went to revive, and the bag was locked. And I was curious what you thought that was.
Maybe you have to get a shell to revive someone, and he doesn't have the shell. So it's like teasing it for people who might not know.
Interesting. Any other
Like,
theories or? I've seen a lot of people saying that it's like the Apex bag locking. So like if your teammate dies, you just have to wait like 5 seconds to revive them or whatever.
yeah, it might be like on a cooldown or something.
Um the one thing about Thief that we don't know, that we haven't seen, is what her passive is, because I don't think that they told us. They said they were keeping that a secret in her reveal trailer, and then I haven't been in any tests with the Thief, and they haven't showed us anything. So I was curious if maybe her passive locks bags or something for a time once she like touches them or something. But that's just like something that we didn't have confirmation on, and I was curious what you thought about that, the bag being
Yeah,
locked.
the thief passive is actually a good point I hadn't thought of. It probably is something along those lines where, or like maybe it's locked, but thief can get around that because she can just pick up whatever.
Yeah, I guess
I
she
mean, that
could
could be
like
an idea.
the bag could have been locked for like looting too, I guess, because he didn't walk up and try to revive him. He just like
Yeah,
assumed that he said something like I can't revive him yet or something. But like I didn't watch him walk up close enough to the bag that he got like the in game words of like this is locked, you can't revive.
yeah.
So assuming that
Plus,
he knew what was going on,
didn't it make a sound like when they all went to the lobby? I remember that being a thing,
it might have. I'm not certain.
and we didn't hear that. The other thing to think about now that you said Apex, and then we were talking about thief, and I just put two and two together. It could be like a Loba situation where you could like access a list of like what's in there before the cooldown and pick up what you need before anyone else can get to it.
Interesting. I never played Apex, so doesn't mean
Yeah,
anything to
Apex, there's
me.
this character that has an ability where you can like throw it down, and it's like a black market, and it's like a radius on the map. So like let's say you're like a POI and like you have like 12 dead bodies. Instead of going to each body, you just pull up the like the black market on her staff, and it has a list of like all the items, and you can pick two out of them, and they just get shipped into your inventory.
Way OP, what?
But it's only two per character, so
Oh, interesting. You pick like
yeah,
their
it's
gun or
capped. You can't just
whatever.
like pick whatever. Yeah, so you can like pick up a gun or like a specific attachment or like whatever you want. You get two, and then that black market's useless for you after that.
Interesting. Kind of cool.
So that's an Apex thing that you could easily stick into Thief as some sort of ability.
That's a wild concept. Okay. I think that's it for the marathon stuff. Any other marathon new news stuff that you wanted to talk about?
Nah,
Anything else you saw? um
no, no.
oh shoot, there's one more. to type it in because it just got confirmed yesterday while I was sleeping.
I
Rank
didn't even hear about this.
rank mode has been confirmed. Well, I think it's been confirmed for a while, but they like expanded on it and like full confirm. That face that you're making is exactly how I feel too. I'm like, ranked mode in an extraction shooter. What are you guys thinking?
I think they're leaning into the PvP aspect, but like,
Yeah, that's exactly.
it makes me nervous. I don't want to. I'm not interested in that idea. I'd rather be like, just based on how I play Overwatch, I'm okay with being a quick play god. I think that ranked mode, I think the thing that makes Arc Raiders fun if you enjoy it is the fact that it's super unserious and the gameplay loop is made that way. I feel like your core gameplay loop should just be competitive in general, and extraction shooters just have that because you're getting loot or losing it all. Why do we need to have a number attached to it?
Yeah, yeah. I think
That makes me nervous. And then you're splitting the player base.
super splitting the player base, and like that's something that I think people are genuinely worried about for this game, and like that.
Yeah. Well, because that's like a part of the beauty of Arc Raiders, right? Is like no one's trying to min max like crazy unless you're like this is your full time job.
You're a
And
streamer.
like you need to run, you're a streamer, and like you need to run a Bobcat every round because you're getting stream sniped. Like sure, min max, I don't care. Like it's fun to watch, but like those are the outliers versus like Timmy from
I
high
bet
school.
80% of the player are free kits, dude. 80% are just free kits in every raid, I bet.
I mean, yeah, and so it's just like you're kind of like, I don't know. It's just I want to see it. I want to see it. I don't like that idea, but I would be willing to look at it.
Interesting. So,
Because then it just muddies up like Arachne and the meme, I think.
definitely, yeah.
Because then it's just like, that's just, you need all those, like, you need that vendor maxed out instantly
Well,
to be competitive.
so let me go over what they've confirmed for the ranked mode, and you can tell me what you think about this. Because, like, I think my opinion is that I think I'm all for the ranked mode and any form of like competitive play for everything. I think that's like really healthy for human beings as a whole when it comes to anything in our lives. Like that's what makes us better. But I don't know how on earth you do a ranked mode for an extraction shooter because it's just not like it doesn't function that way. And when we've seen people try it, like with Tarkov when they do their little tournaments, we do these crazy things that are like kill the boss 4 times or extract with this amount of loot, and like that guy who rats around, kills some PvE enemies and gets the most loot is like not the best player, but then like he's the best extraction player, I guess. It just like bothers me because I don't think you can make it. Because on the flip side, like the guy who runs in there and kills everything, but then he like doesn't loot the right stuff or doesn't extract on time because he's like not paying attention. Like that guy's not the best either. So like I don't know how you do it so that it's like a real
I mean,
representation.
you could bring it back to Halo 3 rank system and just be like, look, the ranked mode is that you get certain tiers of quality items from the merch. If you get Arachne to a certain level, that's your ranked level, and you get a certain shop access because of the time that you put in on it.
Oh, interesting.
You could do that. So like you have all your abilities on the base level, and then once you go beyond that, kind of like you know how with like battle pass tiers, typically like you'll have like your 80 or 100 levels whatever game you're playing, and then there's like every 20 there's an extra reward at the end of it.
Another bump or whatever, yeah.
Yeah, you could like justify Arachne bump specifically instead of a battle pass and say, okay, that's your ranked modifier, and you get like put in those lobbies with those players more often.
That's interesting that your initial thought on this was like Arachne. So like kind of PvP based, like killing based. Because that's kind of where my mind would go as well. Okay,
Yeah.
so this is what Marathon's going to do.
I think it's gonna be vendor based.
So ranked mode works by tallying the total value of your inventory when you extract. Period. Full stop. Not based on kills, not based on anything besides the total value of your inventory when extracting.
That's what it said?
Yep, that is what we have confirmed. So
So little loot lords.
I'll read the rest of this because they clarify a few things. So extracting with better
Okay.
items gives you more rank, ideally looted from other players. So you get like more if it's looted
You get a
from other
bonus.
people.
Okay. Is
You
that all
must
XP based? Like you have the slider that says that you looted off these enemies?
yes, probably something like that.
Okay.
You must equip valuable enough gear to enter ranked, and it's going to be map specific. So like every couple of hours, the ranked mode will
Mm,
change per map. So like ranked will only be on Dire Marsh for a few hours, and then it will go, and it will only be on
okay.
Perimeter. And then you have to bring a specific amount of gear that links to your rank. So they've confirmed the different types of ranks. Like we're gonna have bronze, silver, so on and so forth. The last rank's called Pinnacle. People are pissed about that. They think Pinnacle doesn't have any aura. But like if you're playing in Pinnacle, you have to have like all gold items to even
Yeah.
play the ranked mode, which I think is interesting.
Okay.
I think that might be the best part of this is that like we're gonna try and we're gonna make it slightly more fair, right? Because we don't want our top tier players in lobbies with people with like a white shield. So I thought that was like fun.
Yeah. Okay. That's interesting. Okay. I don't mind that because then you can
Ex-
opt in, and then you're not stuck in playing that way all the time. Because if like you're
Definitely.
not gonna have like a full unless you're a streamer or someone who without a job, like you're gonna not have a full inventory of gold. You play 2 or 3 ranked matches at gold, and then just go back to what you were doing,
Yeah.
or go back and get more. So then you have to go back into the regular lobbies. Okay.
Yeah, so most importantly about all of this, probably like the silver lining that I'll say is, yeah, exactly what you were kind of hinting at there. Is that like ranked isn't going to be the end all be all. It's kind of going to be like a small, almost like an event that you like do every once in a while, sort of,
It's,
rather than
it's
like. Anyway,
It's
okay,
very matriarch related to. I'm thinking like
yeah,
the
yeah, kind of like
electromagnetic
that.
storm, matriarch, like that kind of thing. But they made it PvP based, which I think is a cool idea.
You must equip. Wait, never mind. I already read that one. Exceed the target value to gain rank from bronze to pinnacle and master. So that means you have to like extract with enough gear to like get RP or whatever. If you fail to extract, you lose rank. If you successfully extract but fail to reach the target value, then you neither lose nor gain rank. So like if you
So
don't
what
do anything,
they're
run
trying to
through.
make you play the whole gameplay loop
Yeah.
rather than just run around the map, kill everyone, and then extract. Like you need to loot them, go through the gameplay, maybe bring some stuff in to like loot some keys.
Yep. Definitely.
Okay.
Ranked rewards include exclusive cosmetics and more. Featured rank maps will change every week. Oh, okay, so every week, not every hour. I misunderstood that. To enter ranked, you must purchase and equip a holo tag that you drop when you die. So, like a special dog tag. Looting another holo tag
So
from a
pay to win.
runner will give you extra points toward your target value. Holo tags come in different rarities. And some maps cannot be entered solo and must be played either with a pre-made team or via matchmaking. And that's it. That's all that they have confirmed for the rank. What's our overall view of that?
Very surprised at how like thought out it was.
Yeah, I think they put more effort into it than I thought as well. My
Yeah,
initial
that's
reaction with the loot
crazy.
based or like the value of your inventory, I was like yuck, and then I like finished reading it all and I was like okay, we'll give it a try, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think I'd be interested in like sitting in those ranked modes forever. Maybe if I was done with the whole game and like had all the upgrades and like I had nothing better to do. I think that it has like that merit to it. Like instead of just us pub stomping for 16 hours a day, like at the end of the battle pass, like let's just see if we can get to pinnacle. Like it's just like a carrot on the end of the stick that you can just go after if you want.
Yeah. I'm hoping that it's kind of like labs for the casual gamers where like you kind of play all week and you're kind of just doing your thing and then like on the weekend when all your friends hop on, everybody like brings their best gear and like we go pound out a couple labs raids. And like if
Yeah.
that's the case then I think that would be like perfectly fine. Like that would be more than
Yeah.
acceptable.
Knowing that you're going in with like all the streamers who are unemployed.
Yeah. Well, it's our weekend,
Yeah.
so I'm warmed up, you know. But okay, and then the other thing after ranked mode here that just man, this is from like last night sometime. The Sony
uh
CFO Lin Teo, probably said his name wrong, came out and he said this. He said, as for Marathon, it had user tests, and then from the users had feedback for Marathon in the game. So what was the good points and not good points? So that kind of feedback we had taken into consideration and have modified This time around, after the modification, we are very confident to release it on March 5th. And that's from the Sony CFO. So, just more positive news about how they're feeling about it. And that's actually like the first time we have Sony commenting on Marathon at all, actually, since April. So, like, they kind of didn't touch it because it was kind of like a poisonous horse for a while. And now it looks like it's in the clear. And he's like, we're excited. It's going to be good. So,
Yeah.
hey, and that's it. Now I'm actually done with
You don't want to do that one right there
which one? Oh, hang on. Use my brain.
under rank mode.
Oh, this? Yeah. Well, we can talk about this first. I just wanted to make sure there wasn't any other big marathon news here.
Oh, like news in general. Okay.
Yeah.
Where did you find that? Was that on X?
Yeah. There are like 6 different
I don't
people.
want to install X.
Dude, it is a cesspool. Half my feed are white supremacists or neo-Nazis. I think it's amazing. My new favorite thing are the Republicans who were mad at the Democrats for being racist to white people for the last 5 years, and now they're all pro-white, which is the reverse. So that's stupid. But and then all the porn is just amazing. You would love it. It's terrible.
Privately owned, by the way. No thanks.
Privately owned. Yeah, I sure see a lot more nudity and a lot more racism on Twitter than I did 5 years ago. Anyway, yeah, I follow like probably like 10 different people that all do like Marathon leaks, and then I follow a bunch of the developers for Marathon are like surprisingly active on Twitter, and they like comment on a lot of stuff, and they always give like little tidbits. So like somebody took a screenshot of the collector's box, and so this says Thief Icon, because Thief's the old name, Icon's the new shell name or whatever. And they were like, if you guys did this for Destroyer, would it say Destroyer Locust? And he was like, yes. And that was like more confirmation that like they're kind of one and the same. I don't know. They do all sorts of stuff. So anyway,
That's cool.
It's a cesspool and it's not worth it. But,
I mean, yeah, I still wouldn't do it just because of the For You page. I'm so good on that.
Yeah. Well, the good news is you can just stick it on like the following. So I don't even look at my For You page. The worst part is that like, okay, so here's a great example. Like I also follow.
I can't handle it. I can't. I just end up doom scrolling. I can't do it.
I follow the finals on Twitter, and they just posted this is like their new battle pass, and it's like these football skins, right? And I click on this, and it has 24 comments, and I go 1, 2, 3 comments are about finals, 2 of them negative, 1 positive, and then porn, racist comment, N-word, porn. And that's it. And that's on the finals. That's a video game, and that's what we got. No.
I'm good.
It's awful. Okay.
I feel like uninstalling that showered my brain a little bit. It's like clearing my brain.
Definitely a good thing. Okay. So the next thing, because I wanted to discuss this, because this is like the next big thing that the Slop Raider review bomb boys are going after. Is like the big conversation now is everyone saying that like Marathon won't be as big as Arc Raiders, which is probably true. Arc Raiders definitely, as you said, inarguably, Arc Raiders has this casual element that we really haven't seen since Fortnite, and that's why it's so big. The same can kind of be said about Peanut as well. Like there's definitely something there that's bigger than what we see normally, and Marathon is like not going to do that because Marathon's way more hardcore. So the big conversation is like, what's it going to take for Marathon to be successful for Bungie, and then like for Sony, and then like what's gonna make it successful for you? What do you think is gonna like bring you back and make it kind of be your new main game? Just kidding. Overwatch 2 will always be. Wait. It's just Overwatch. Don't put the 2 on.
Yeah, get that 2 out of here. Stupid. The whole thing was stupid. Get that 2 out of here. There's no 2.0.
Yeah. But so what do you think? Maybe let's talk like player counts first, and then we can talk about like what maybe a little bit more what we think is gonna like make it successful. But what do you think Marathon needs for like it to not Concord 2, where we turn the servers off? What kind of player count do you think we need to see for the first couple of months for it to survive?
I mean, the whole tactic with like live service games in general is that it doesn't necessarily need to be like 1.0 already. It just needs to be enough to give people depth, mystery, and engagement, and then you can add all the features later that like really get it going. The thing about Marathon is that all of that stuff felt like it was already there in the alpha that everyone played. So we skipped that to a more complete game. Now, the investment on that means that they have to make that money back sooner. But I think from like a financial standpoint, I think if they get like, I don't even know a number, it'd have to be like, I think if they even did maybe a third of what Arc Raiders did for like the initial launch, I think that they'll be fine if they can retain players. I think that what they care more about is that the gameplay loop is so fun and satisfying that you don't stop playing. And I think they're aiming to be higher than Arc Raiders long term because of that.
Yeah. I think that's exactly said super well. I think Bungie definitely feels like they're ahead of the curve with the live service stuff. Like what you said, a lot of everything's kind of already in it, which is gonna like really result in it feeling a lot more finished, which I think definitely matters. And then what you said about being like a third of Arc Raiders, yeah, I think that's exactly right. Probably even way less than a third would be more than enough for them to see it as like something that they can at least keep working on. Not anywhere near like we're turning everything off.
No, I don't think it'll ever be that way. I don't think so. I think that there's too many people that actually just enjoy it. The thing, there's a big correlation I'm seeing with how Bungie handled Destiny and the people that play it is that the people who are enjoying it are too busy playing the game to complain about it. You know, like they're having a good time. And so, like, them spending the money is going to speak louder than anyone complaining in Discord or on Twitter about
Anyone
stuff.
crying about it, yeah.
Yeah, because the people crying about it just want the attention because they don't like it, versus the people playing it are just too busy playing it.
Yeah,
And I felt like
definitely.
there was a lot of that. I feel like there's. I mean, they beat pre-order estimates, right?
Yeah. Oh, by like 6 times what they wanted for pre-order.
Uh, if they're looking at that from like a KPI standpoint, you don't even need. It doesn't matter what people are saying online about it.
Yeah. So one thing that I was gonna say here was that like they surpassed the pre-order expectations by a ton. I'm pretty sure I saw it was by 6 times what they wanted. And then the collector's edition, I think they said they had like planned for about like 2,000 of those to be purchased, and they like ran out of stuff, and they had to like do another order on the models to make more because people were just spam buying the collector's edition, which I thought was kind of interesting as well.
Yeah,
Um,
I that's I really liked down a bunch of thoughts about it, but that was like for like the pre-order piece of it. That's how I feel about it. I think it's going to be successful, and
yeah,
I think that they don't need it to be insane numbers because everyone's. I think that player count on Steam, it's kind of the same as like Twitch viewers in a sense, where like, okay, you have 100 viewers, but 10 of them pay you $1,000 a month. You can
yeah.
still live off that. You know what I
You could
mean?
just have
Versus
the
like someone
10.
with 1,000 viewers that and like 10 of them spend $10 a month. Like, it's not the same. And I think this is kind of the same thing between Arc and Marathon. Is like just the sheer volume of people, like they're gonna make their money. But Marathon's quality itself and the time investment that they will have on live service will just like eke it out eventually.
Yeah. No, I think that's exactly right too. I think Arc Raiders has a pretty big flaw that we're just barely starting to see as well, where like it kind of has no end game content, and then because it's almost completely AI generated, the devs don't know how to work on it, and so like here we are 5, 6 months after it's come out, and like they can't fix a bunch of the bugs. They don't know how to beat the cheaters. The content that they're releasing is super slow. Stuff isn't ready, and like we're starting to see the streamers get super fed up with that. Like this last week, we had a mass exodus of streamers streaming Arc Raiders on Twitch. Like people are starting to get tired of the lack of content that it has. And I think that we're gonna really see that, especially this year. Like, I wouldn't be surprised if the game's like well under like 50,000 players by the end of the year, just because I don't think they're gonna be able to crank out enough content and support that game has like that it needs now because it's so big. You know what I mean? And like
Yeah.
I think that that's gonna really hurt our creators, and we're gonna see that in like a big way toward the end of the year. And I think Marathon's going to be like the exact opposite. I think Marathon's going to come out. I think it's going to be like pretty small. I'll be surprised if we're over like 100K concurrent players on Steam for the first like month or two that it's out. I bet it's huge on the first week. I bet it's like High Garden. I bet there's 300,000 players on like a launch day. And then I bet the concurrent drops really low. And then I bet
I bet
over the
concurrent sticks at
course,
80. That's my line in the sand. I'll
yeah,
say it.
I bet it's super low. But then like by the end of the year, I bet it's way higher. And by the end of next year, I bet it's even higher. And like I bet it just gains traction for like at least 2 or 3 years because I think it's going to be the king of the extraction shooter genre and it won't even be close for a while. But that's what
Yeah.
my prediction.
That's a good prediction. You seem very passionate about it.
Yeah. Well,
Uh,
I've played a lot of extraction shooters. It's kind of like the thing that I fell in love with, and I have just like I've touched a lot of them. And I unfortunately have a lot of experience with a lot of them dying, and it like makes me really sad. What you were saying about ranked mode, like splitting the players, one of the big extraction shooters that I played that like was this huge cash cow, and then also a cash cow for me on Twitch. They added solo only mode to a game that had like 300 players left, and it killed the game. It literally killed it because half the player base wanted to
yeah.
play solo, and it killed our match times, and then there weren't people in any lobbies, and it literally killed the game. And like that was really brutal. Um, but yeah, so I play a lot of extraction shooters, and like my predictions have been pretty on point for the last couple that I've seen so far. So I'm excited to see. Marathon is way bigger than every day I feel like I'm looking at it and I'm like, this is double the size, like double the community, triple the amount of people that know about it that I thought. Like it's so much bigger than I thought. Well, and then we
Yeah.
catch like Doctor Disrespect and Shroud on stream saying that like they're just waiting for Marathon, and like I don't know, that's crazy to me that the COD kids try and come play this super hardcore shooter. They're gonna get smoked. It's gonna be a brutal awakening for them. But
Did you put Shroud and Doctor Disrespect under the COD lobby
yeah, both of
banner?
them, both of them are
They
COD
both played
kids.
Tarkov extensively though.
Yeah, I think I've got clips killing both actually. While we're on the Tarkov subject, Shroud probably doesn't fall in the COD kid category. He can probably be in something, but the pedophile can definitely be a COD kid. Ooh.
Yeah. Uh,
Anyway, anything else that you want to say? I put some other stuff there, but I think we.
you did. I actually
summed
had
it
a
up.
response for every single one of those. Like every
Holy.
single one of those.
Yeah, give them. This is good.
This was my passionate piece. Okay, so one of the questions that was put. How about you go through each question?
Okay.
I'll go this time.
So one of the big things, because like Zach and I just kind of brutalize everything because we talk about stuff.
Mhm.
That's just how we are. But one of the big things, or I guess I'll just go over all of them. The big things that we talk about for video games, especially when we talk about like how long they're going to live, because he's been with me with all these extraction shooters that die, and it's like so tragic. But the first one is like how hardcore it is. And like that's
Yeah.
a big reason that extraction shooters have lower player counts on average than other games, because like it's the only game where you lose everything. And like that sucks. People don't want to do that. That's horrible. It means that your skill in game, the way that you aim, your game sense, all matters infinitely more in Tarkov than it does in Overwatch, League of Legends, Counter-Strike, Call of Duty, right? So the difficulty is a huge one that really impacts everyone and like really turns away casuals. And again, going back to what you said about Arc Raiders, that game is extremely casual. You don't really lose anything, and the combat is like not as skill based and more gear based, and that's like what brings so many more casual people in, which is probably a good thing overall. And then like there are a huge amount of things that turn people away in extraction shooters. So like with Tarkov, it's just like so complicated, and it takes so long to get into a game, and it takes so long to learn things that like that's just not what you're going to play for an hour when you go home from work before you have to go to bed to go to work the next day, you know what I mean? And like that's just way too hardcore for people. Arc Raiders, I can throw my free kit on, I can play 2 raids, and it's all good. And like we're done, that's it. And that's like a huge thing that also turns people away. So anyway, yeah. So I guess they kind of all get summed up into the 2 points: is like difficulty, and then like what's gonna really turn people away, and then like I guess the flip side of that is like what's super user friendly, and that would be the free kit example in Arc Raiders. The Scav in Tarkov is great, especially when we finally got lobbies and you could play with your friends on Scav. Um, so yeah, how hard is it going to be? And then like which parts are user friendly, which parts aren't.
All right. So I am with you. I think Marathon is like 1,000% harder than Arc. But that is a good thing because extraction shooters shouldn't be easy. I think that if you went any easier than Arc, you're probably not gonna like you're not made for like I don't even know. It's just like a mobile game, I guess. That's just kind of like
Yeah,
kiddie. I feel like Arc is the floor, and like
definitely.
Tarkov's like the complicated one that like, okay, I'm an adult now. Like, want to figure this out and like spend time on this like thing. I think Marathon's going to sit somewhere in between. I want to say it's going to be like, let's say you have a spectrum. You have Arc on one side and Tarkov on the other. And I think that Marathon's like middle, closer to Arc Raiders. I think there's space to make it more complicated. It didn't feel overly complicated, and the fact that you and me were running around that much, that quick, um, just like it's not nearly anything like Tarkov. And so like people like us who play extraction shooters regularly, I just don't think. I think the one redeeming factor that I was going to get into next about like what keeps the hook going is that Bungie is iconic for their gunplay and the satisfying feel of shooting a weapon and the movement. And I think they stuck it. I think they just stuck that landing
I
out
think
the
it's their
gate
best
with
game.
there's like everything about it just feels so fluid, smooth, recognizable. Like anything that you put on, you know what you're doing. Like you can visually see it. There's not like I have to sit in a menu for 5 minutes and figure out what kind of penetration I'm using for my ammo. It's oh, I picked up this. I know what it does. Let's go. And like the iconography is amazing. I think the UI navigation is a little clunky. There's like some stuff that like I took for granted in Tarkov that I wish that Marathon had. Um, it was like the point and click stuff where it's like I click something, it should go in my inventory, or click it, just go onto my character. Um, I wanted that more, but that's like release stuff.
I bet we get a
Um,
bunch of that as well, either at some point or it's already in the game. Like I bet little stuff like
yeah,
that. I bet they're working on.
I think the other piece of it too is that the hook with Tarkov, and this was a warning that I know that Bungie got a lot from all the Tarkov streamers, was that they need a hook. They need something to keep you playing. And I think that Arc, there's not a lot to keep you playing. Once you like, kill the matriarch, it's like,
We did it. Oh,
okay,
but that's also what
I
keeps
th-
it casual. You know, it's like a double-edged sword for me.
right. But on the flip side of that, like we talk about rank, we talk about like some sort of hook, like that would be the hook, right, to keep you playing. And it's like just the pure enjoyment of playing the match is it sticks out in Marathon in my mind. Because Arc, it's like you're trying to go do something. And when you run out of stuff to do, like, is it fun to just be in that world? I think it's fun to watch Peanut be in that world, but is it fun for me to play?
Yeah, but the Peanuts fun to watch in all the worlds. You know, that's what we're learning.
Yeah, and so
So
like that's the thing.
it's
It's
not
like
unique to
you make
Arc.
your own fun. You could argue that you can make your own fun in Arc Raiders really easily because of how casual it is, but like why not just have the gameplay loop do it for you?
Yeah, yeah.
So also I think that I don't think it's for I think the hard part to get into it but this is my last like I found like a lot of things to kind of get in the way of it thinking through the lens of like and like a casual Arc Raiders player going in a marathon being like oh my god, or on the other side of this like people who have been loyal to Bungie and played Destiny for a long time, they played a looter shooter where you don't lose your stuff, you just have it sit in your vault for years on end and you're like I did that, like that's the thing I did. um I think that both of those camps are going to lose a lot more loot, a lot more rare loot because they're more incentivized to use that rare loot. And I think that there's going to be a lot of crashing out
Yeah.
and a lot of people that don't like it.
Yeah.
Um, because if you think about a person who played Destiny and got last word and it took them like 200 hours to get it, or a Galahorn, which is like these crazy weapons that you could get. I don't know how familiar you are with D1,
Done.
but okay, so Galahorn was like this crazy rocket launcher. You couldn't do raids without it. Like people wouldn't let you in public raids unless you did it. Imagine getting a gun that you couldn't have access to for like 200-300 hours, and then you go into the next match and you lose it. Like people would crash out, and I don't think they're ready for that.
Brutal.
Like they go into their gold match like with a gold like anything, and they're gonna lose it and die and be mad and not open up the game again.
Yeah,
I
it's
think
gonna
that those
hurt.
Destiny players, those Destiny players are gonna have a rude awakening on that. I also think if you hate the visuals, I've had multiple people in like my friend group that are like, I don't like the visuals, I'm not interested in playing. So like if you hate the visuals, you can't learn to love it, I think. Um, if you stand by the not bungo ever again, you're not gonna get it and you're not gonna buy it. I could see some getting their minds changed after seeing it, but they're not gonna buy it day one.
Yeah.
And then the third is like the art theft and everything. Like even though they did everything they needed to, it's still gonna
That stain will
like
exist forever. The art
yeah, and like
raiders will always exist.
that's the thing that is gonna like keep people away is that people love hating on Bungie, which is
Plagiarism
like
will make me god.
but I mean it's like you're giving a AAA studio the underdog treatment. I mean, I live for the underdog, so I'm like, I kind of want to see it win just to like spite everyone. It's
Yeah.
like the gameplay is so good, it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Um, the parts that are user friendly, though, I think that the gameplay, like, it's the when you're out of the match, and Tarkov has a hard time with this, where it's like, what do I do next? Like, once you get it, it's pretty straightforward and simple. But like managing the UI and then figuring out what you're going to be focused on to do next, I think that was like super crystal clear after like maybe 3 hours of playing.
Yeah, that's
And
true.
I liked that a lot. I think that it's a little bit harder to navigate than Arc Raiders. I think that that's a good thing because then it keeps you engaged and you're like, oh, I'm figuring this out rather than having it spoon fed to me. And I still feel like it spoon feeds you quite a bit.
I think like almost like a synonym that you can put with like more hard or complicated is um like deeper. Like there's more going on there and it's better overall cuz like you get more
Yeah.
customization, you get more ability to control things. And that again, I mean like Tarkov is arguably but not the king of video games because it changed the video game world more than we've seen anything by far outside of like Fortnite. And it's because there are things in Tarkov like that don't exist anywhere else that we've seen people want. They want the insane ability to control every little thing about their character. They want the super complex like raids and all of the items and stuff. Like there are things about Tarkov that make it really hardcore that we know the masses want. They appreciate stuff like that. And that's like a very valuable lesson that I think most developers have not learned from Tarkov. Like when Call of Duty tried to copy with DMZ, like they did not do the depth and it flopped. Completely and utterly flopped. And like I think Marathon has captured enough of that depth that it's going to be more than good enough for the people who want to grind it. But then I think a huge part of the game is user friendly, with like having Rook in right from the start where we get to have scavs. I think that the free kit that they give us, we had a 2-hour conversation about the overrun last night on my stream, literally about the overrun. And about how I think that's just like the best gun they could have given you for the free kit because you don't have to deal with like energy weapons that can't shoot very far. You don't have to deal with like an SMG that shoots really fast, but then you have no range and you can't shoot at anything. Like the overrun is like really user friendly. Like you're gonna be able to win fights with that. You're gonna be able to shoot the AI with that.
Yeah.
There are huge parts of the game that I think are like stupid user friendly, and that are going to like really help to bring brand new people in. But then like there is a massive amount of the game that is like really hardcore and really deep where I get to control which cores I have. I can build my cores on my character for a specific way that like I want to play the game. And like we don't have anything like that in like Tarkov, you know what I mean? You get to
No, and
customize your
like
gun and that's it.
yeah, I think that the gunplay, like the gameplay loop itself, and then you add on top of it like all of the stuff that we said, and then you have map knowledge because they give you a lot of map knowledge because you have access to see a map.
Yeah, we don't
and
have
see
any
all
of
the
this
POIs.
this Tarkov crap where the map is this garbage thing that doesn't tell you where
but
anything is.
it's like almost a little bit better that way because then when you go search for a map on Tarkov, like on the wiki, it shows you everything that's hidden. Nothing is discovered. Everything's on that page.
Yeah.
But when they have control of the map, this is like an opinion I changed from my initial time playing the game was I thought like having a map was a detriment to the game, but as I played more and more and I thought about it, I was like, the map just gets you from point A to point B, so you can like keep it moving and like be engaged. But like they don't tell you where everything is at all times, and so like there was like some stuff that we saw that I was like, but I think if they changed some of that stuff to where we still had to go find it, I think that that would be really interesting.
Yeah. Yeah, I liked that we had the map and I could kind of be like, all right, this is how we get to field maintenance. But then it wasn't like, here are all the loot boxes in field maintenance. Like we still had to
Yeah, we had to
discover
like
everything.
yeah, we had to go and find all the little hidey holes and all the little nooks and crannies, and like we'd spend the whole run in that POI figuring it out, and then we go to the next POI the next round. I thought that that was like, and then there was some stuff on the map that like we couldn't even figure out where it was like you had to do a specific action in a different part of the map, and we had no clue where it was. And it's like, okay, now I gotta go back in and explore and like try and figure out where that thing is.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I think again that's the map flow. I mean, it's just like everything. The gunplay, the map flow, everything. They have captured everything that was good about Tarkov. And then like we have added our own much more casual elements to it, and it's like I don't know, I think it's just going to be the perfect mix. And I think it's going to be huge. And I'm so excited to play.
Yeah, I'm excited too. I'm ready.
But yeah, anything else there wanted to say about difficulty, user friendly? Anything big you think is gonna like turn people away from Marathon? Besides, I know you briefly touched on the art style. That's definitely a thing I see a lot too. People say that the
Yeah,
art
they
style
either
really
love it or
turns
they
them
hate
off.
it.
But I might be one of
Um,
the few people that's in between on that. Like I think I didn't like the art style. I haven't really liked the
yeah.
colorful, crazy looking games. But because I'm an adult, and I'm willing to try everything before I like form a real opinion, and then like graphics at the end of the day don't mean anything if you're able to like boil it down to that. And I like played it, and I was like, okay, this is the best game ever made by human beings. So we're just gonna play it. And then because I have that mindset of like this is truly the best game that I have ever touched, um, I think I've kind of flipped, and I think I like the graphics now. I think they've grown on me a little bit. But I know that nobody's gonna be that way. So
What will they hate? What was the question again?
what do you think's
Like,
gonna
what
turn
would keep
people
it
away from
deterred?
Marathon?
Maybe the new player experience. Because I remember spending like 4 or 5 raids being really pissed off because I couldn't figure out the balancing of like some people don't have the patience. They want to be spoon fed like their first kid of like maybe you should try this and like run with it, see how it works. Versus there was a lot less hand holding with it that created this frustration of like why am I playing this?
Yeah.
Which sounds stupid, but like before we matched up in a game, my first like 4 raids I just spent trying to figure out what the heck, like how much do I need to bring of everything? And some people just like don't have the patience for that. I can see them
Definitely.
getting really turned off. You could argue that like you spend $40 on the game, you're gonna stick it out a little bit longer than that.
Hopefully.
But
Yeah.
it was like the throughout the thing, it was like pick up this and like have a baseline level of ammo to get like through the whole map. They did not give you that.
Yeah. No. Well, and then the free kit, if you try to like reference your free kit where you get like one heal, one stack of ammo, and one shield recharge, like that's not enough. That's not enough for you to play a full
No,
raid, you know?
you and
That's
me would bring at least 3 stacks of everything.
oh yeah,
And like there's no reference to that until you start like getting out with stuff. Like
definitely.
what and that's the thing is like the snowball. I think like the new player experience, if they can get rid of that snowball a little bit and like have it be a little bit more measured, I think that that would be better.
I don't think any of that's like super marathon exclusive though. That kind of feels more like it's extraction shooter. Like that's kind of what turns people away from
Yeah.
extraction shooters as a whole. Um, which is certainly true. But I was just curious if there was anything that stood out to you that you think like specifically about marathon that's gonna push
Mm,
anybody away. And my answer here, just for the record here, is no. I can't think of anything that's gonna push people exclusively away. I can only think of things that are like
to
I'm
hook
thinking
you
about it
in.
in my mind, and I'm thinking about like my streamer friends who played the other extraction shooters, or like some of my casual friends who don't play games anymore, and like they're gonna come and they're gonna play a couple of raids of Marathon, and they're gonna be like, oh, like this is a W change from Tarkov. Like that means a lot to me. That's a huge quality of life thing that I appreciate, and like I can only think of things that are gonna push people toward it. I can't really think of anything that's gonna push it away, other than regular stuff that extraction shooters have. Like it's way too hardcore, and you lose everything, and I want to cry every time I die.
Yeah, no, that's all extraction shooter based. Marathon itself, I'd be curious to see what people think. Maybe the ability usage, like maybe people don't like the Apex feel of it.
Yeah.
Like that could turn them off because like you play Tarkov and it's like all about the kit you bring in rather than the extra depth of like the character you're running with the kit that it's using and the guns that you're using on top of all that.
That's definitely a thing that I see people say that like the gamers love hero shooters and like we love the ability stuff. And while that's true on a wide scale because we have stuff like Apex, Overwatch, League of Legends, Valorant, I could just name them all day long. Um those people aren't the extraction shooter players, you know? The
Yeah.
extraction shooters are the other breed of gamers that don't like that stuff. So that's definitely one of the hurdles that Marathon has to get over and or build a bridge to bring players from both sides to it because it's mixing those two elements. But I think they've done it in a way that I think everybody's going to be pretty happy with it.
Yeah, and like you could make an argument that if you focus on the hero part of it, like content could be new heroes and that's like an easy thing to do and cycle out.
Yeah,
It's
definitely.
like Overwatch is 10 years deep and they've added so many heroes and like heroes come and go and the relevance, but like there's I don't think it's a hinder. After playing through that, I understand why League of Legends sticks around. It's because you can still have all those old heroes and it doesn't matter.
170 heroes that are all relevant and can completely hard carry games if you know how to play them. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It's just like
definitely.
the power. It's just like picking your flavor at that point. It's not
Oh,
like I need to play this hero. It's just like I'm just gonna pick this flavor. And I think that you could make an argument that Marathon could stay fresh with that.
definitely. I think that's going to have more impact than any of us are thinking, actually, is going to be the people who are like exclusively playing just to be Void because Void is so cool. You know?
Yeah.
I love Void. I want to be the edgy guy. Um, yikes. I hate him. I hate him so much. I have so many clips of killing him. Well, there's going to be, I think I've decided I'm going to try and do like at least one highlight reel every week for Marathon, but then I think there's going to be a special one that drops on Fridays, and it's just going to be the voids that I killed that week that are invisible. We won't do any non-invisible void
You're
kills.
dying on that
Just
hill. It's so funny.
exclusively invisible. I've got one for High Guard already too, because her
That's
invisibility is
so
like the
funny.
same way. Well, it's a little bit worse because I can hear their footsteps. So you just like close your eyes and then you track it with your ears and shoot at it, and then she dies, and you're like, oh wow. Anyway,
That was so hard.
we are way over our time here, so I think we'll save everything for the next one.
All right.
This is good. We've got just so much happened. We didn't even get to talk about High Guard or Overwatch. Wow.
Good. We'll just
Overwatch
stick to
transcends a number, and I go, what are you talking about? Anyway, for the next one, that's a sneak peek. That's a sneak peek for the next one.
That was silly.
So anyway, yeah, that's it for Marathon. This is gonna be we're never gonna get to talk about the other ones because every week
That's fine.
Marathon's just gonna drop a billion. That's
The
fine.
whole point is the marathon. So if we're talking about other games, maybe Marathon needs to do more work.
Yeah, true. Um, I guess that's it. Plenty of stuff to talk
Right.
about next week, and we'll see what kind of marathon stuff we get. I guess
Yeah.
maybe let's get your prediction for what you think the cinematic for the runner is going to be on Monday. Which one? Let's make bets. I'm betting on Thief.
What's
I
Glitch's
think
What's Glitch's name now?
Vandal. I think it's
I think Vandal
Vandal.
next.
Okay.
Yeah.
Why
Because
do you
Thief was
think?
like the featured one and Blackbird's getting saved, so I think it's gonna be that one.
That's actually really good logic. I was gonna say, why do you think Destroyer was first? But then, like, the answer hit me all by itself, and it's because he's the marathon guy, right? He has the marathon armor from the original marathon games. So then, if we think about it in like iconic value, Destroyer's first because that's like people see the helmet and they're like, oh, that's the security officer from Marathon. And then like Void is the edgy guy. We have to have an edgy guy in every game with a hood who goes invisible. And then
Yep.
Glitch is like the next big one that people liked. Okay, so you think it's gonna be Glitch, huh? I think Thief.
Yep.
I think they're trying to lean into Thief a lot more as we get later in the stages, and I think we're gonna get the Thief one. Or Icon. I'm not sure which her name. I'm pretty sure it's Thief. Icon was the first one.
Okay.
I'm
All right. We'll
excited to
see.
see. Yeah, we'll have that'll be kind of fun. But all right, that'll be it for this. See you guys next
All
week.
right. See you next week.